Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about one of the major fallouts from Boruto chapter 79 after everyone had their memories altered to believe that Boruto killed Naruto and that Kawaki was the boy who was not only Naruto's son, but also interviewed and hailed as being the hero who saved the village from Ishii killed Sasuke, who Kawaki ironically has the karma seal of. Ever since the last chapter came out, there have been a ton of comments in the comment section, and I've got a lot of DMs and Patreon requests about the one power that Sasuke Uchiha has that can get Boruto out the bind that he's currently in. And in today's video, we're going to talk about just that. When you think about it, it makes a ton of sense that people want to see Boruto bailed out of the horrible situation he's in. He's desperate and alone, with Momoshiki truly being the only person who Boruto can lean on in this scenario, because Sarada currently doesn't know what's going on even though she's immune, and due to Mitsuki being there with her, Boruto can't communicate the truth with her, and Momoshiki is the least friendly person that Boruto can actually count on. He's only helping him out for his own amusement and a chance to gaslight Boruto as he's losing everything, because he's trying to push Boruto into a despair that's so great it makes him give up on the will to live so that Momoshiki can take over his body. However, that's exactly why so many people want Boruto to be reunited with Sasuke, because if there's one person who knows how to hide while they're on the run, it's Sasuke Uchiha. And also, fans want Sasuke to train Boruto during the time skip. This would be the perfect setup stage for that. And since we've already done a video on Kashi and Koji training Boruto, it's time for us to circle back to Sasuke. So how exactly can Sasuke save Boruto from his current fate? Well, you have a ton of people who have reached deep down into the Naruto lore bucket to pull out Izanagi as a method to change Boruto's fate, since Izanagi is a jutsu that rewrites an undesirable reality. The belief is that if Sasuke were to see Boruto with his headband and Sasuke realizes what happened, he could just perform Izanagi to reverse the situation at the expense of his eye. However, while that's a super creative line of thinking, and it makes sense that you look for a super hacks genjutsu to counter Ada's Shinjutsu, which takes her control powers to a different level and she's forcibly altering the memories of everyone around the world, there's a major problem with this. To understand why I say there's a major problem, we have to first look at how Izanagi itself works. Izanagi is the Uchiha clan's forbidden genjutsu, which basically takes the method of genjutsu where the target will experience things that aren't real because of the genjutsu caster, but in this instance they take the illusion concept and they force it upon reality itself. This allows for fatal injuries and undesirable outcomes to be rewritten as long as the Izanagi is active in the Sharingan eye that's being sacrificed, which is only for a few seconds unless you take drastic measures like Danzo, who had Hashirama cells, and due to Sasuke being pumped full of Hashirama cells by Kabuto during the war, it's of the belief of a lot of people that Sasuke's Izanagi would last for as long as Danzo's, if not even longer. In Naruto's manga, this was only something that applied to the Genjutsu caster Izanagi, but when you factor in filler from Naruto Shippuden, we saw this being applied to those around the caster as well, which is what a lot of people are banking on, because if you include anime filler, then Sasuke, by that logic, could apply to Boruto as well, which is the absolute crux to this theory. However, here's where I think there's a bit of a problem. So in the Jutsu section of the 4th Naruto databook, the official guide for Naruto volumes 44 through 72 and written by the series creator Masashi Kishimoto, it specifically says that to use this jutsu, the caster must first have the Sharingan active and have weaved the hand signs of the rabbit, the boar, and the ram, and it's then that anything that happens during the duration of the genjutsu being in effect, that will be rewritten. That's the key. You can't use Izanagi to change an outcome that happened prior, even if you go as far as say Madara, where he pre-programmed his Sharingan to be of use after a certain period of time passed to perform the Izanagi to rewrite its death. You'd still need to perform the hand signs beforehand when you're in the process of pre-programming that Izanagi into your Sharingan, according to that data book. With Obito and Konoha, there's a whole period off screen where we don't see what Obito was doing after he broke his mask to activate the Sharingan, but based on the official information, he would have needed to weave those hand seals skills off panel in order to pull off the genjutsu. If we include that information from the filler, which you guys know my stance on anime filler, it goes out the window, but if we do make an exception and we include it and allow Izanagi to be applied directly to a third party, in this case Sasuke applying it to Boruto, he'd have needed to know that Ada possessed this power beforehand and took the precautionary steps to use Izanagi on himself, programmed to rewrite reality under the circumstance that Ada uses specific Shinjutsu in this way, which Sasuke is Batman Sensei, but this feels like it will be a huge stretch for even Sasuke, and it will be a highly plot armor convenient moment if this took place. However, could Izanagi still come into effect here if Sasuke does realize the truth at any point in the story? That depends on how you look at it. So if Boruto's forced to fight his teacher, who believes that Boruto killed Naruto, and thus Sasuke's coming at Boruto with a full tank of chakra and with full killing intent, if Sasuke realized what happened and Sasuke used the hand seals to turn on Izanagi and allowed himself to be hit with a killing attack that came from Boruto with the intent to have the illusion placed onto reality in order to bring Sasuke back from death with his true memories intact, that would actually work because the databook says it rewrites reality in favor of the user. That would allow Sasuke to take Boruto and go into hiding, though it would be at the cost of Sasuke's Sharingan in the process and leave Sasuke blind, which would be ironic. Sasuke's Mangekyo, his Eternal Mangekyo, and his Rinnegan powers were all powers that he gained while being in the darkness and in the shadows in particular, and now that he's redeemed and on the path of light, working for good, he potentially lose that light in his eyes that he awakened while being in the darkness, which would be pretty poetic when you think about it. Sasuke said before, a shinobi makes use out of the tools that they're given, and by not having his vision isn't something that would truly hinder Sasuke, because as a shinobi, he's trained to make the most out of all of his other senses. He's an elite shinobi for a reason. Losing some eyesight shouldn't be a big deal to him. The big thing here though is that if this were to occur, it still goes back to where could Boruto and company hide, and Boruto being the reason Sasuke lost both eyes. One by force when Boruto made the Rinnegan go poke poke, and the second one is in this scenario being that Sasuke willingly sacrificed his Sharingan all for Boruto's sake. This might be something that takes the newfound acceptance and appreciation of Boruto's manga that people who gave up on the manga, or they were closet fans who are now singing its praises out in the open, it might give them more reason to turn away from the manga again, even though this would be a pretty big brain move by Sasuke to work around Ada's Shinjutsu if he figures everything out in a short span, assuming he's affected by the Shinjutsu in the first place, and come up with a strategy right there on the spot. It speaks volumes to Sasuke's high IQ. There's just something about the attachment to legacy characters like Naruto or Sasuke where fans, the moment that something undesirable happens to them, the older fans, they get super worked up and they take it personally. I think it's because of how quickly Shippuden's anime ended so quickly, and a lot of those fans, they wanted more closure before going into Boruto. The chance to see both of them at their peaks of their power, stomping mud holes into people whenever they got into fights, because they're aware there are stories set after the war which never got adapted or they never got properly adapted. They wanted more closure before moving into Boruto, hence why even to this day we have people saying we need a fourth Naruto anime that focuses solely on Naruto's time in the blank period. But I digress though. I'm good with either outcome for this. If Sasuke isn't affected and doesn't use Izanagi to escape Ada's control, I'm all for it. While I personally don't care to use anime filler when making points, I will say I'm not even sure if in this instance Izanagi can be applied to a third party where it will be able to rewrite Boruto's situation. This is a Shinjutsu casted on a global level. I don't think this works unless Sasuke magically is able to do so on a global level, which feels like it'd be straight cap to even suggest that this would be possible for him to do. It really kind of downplays just the mass scale and the sheer level of Ada's Shinjutsu. This is the first time that we've seen a Shinjutsu used on this huge scope, and it forever changed the landscape in the story itself. This is a huge impact. If Sasuke could just project Izanagi globally, that'd be something where that'd be capped. Like, that's so out there. If he's forced to use Izanagi on himself to escape Ada's Shinjutsu by returning from death with his original memories, it'd be some OG Naruto move where it's the move hidden behind the move strategy, but personally, I don't think Izanagi is going to be the answer a lot of people think it will be, where it outright reverses Boruto's situation. Outside of it helping Sasuke get around Ada's power, I don't think it's practical, but I'm curious to know how you guys feel about this. While you think that over, click here to watch my How Strong is Mitsuri Kanroji video on KRYPTONIAN Saiyan.